Sophia's POV. We quickly leave the busy room, following behind Vincent's large frame as he quickened his strides, occasionally turning back to shoot us daggers. Were we dancing weird? Maybe giving him a shown up at his party? Perhaps people were questioning why and who even invited us in the first place? Maybe Daryl didn't tell him that we were coming? Speaking of Daryl, where even is he? I think, as we approach the kitchen from behind Vincent. He comes to a standstill, as I struggle to see much from behind his back, deciding to step aside to get a better view only to find, oh, there's Daryl, passionately kissing another girl. Wait, what? I hear Emma gasp from beside me, as Vincent eyes his friend who was currently engrossed in whatever red head he had pinned up against the wall before turning to glance down at my shocked expression. I was stunned and felt somewhat embarrassed, simply because Daryl had been the one to invite me here tonight only to wind up locked in with another girl. It hurt. It seemed out of character for him too. But maybe I didn't actually know him as well as I thought I did. I had only been here for a damn week after all. I could have sworn he was flirting with me, but maybe he's just a flirty guy? Clearly he is, but all I could say was that it sucked to feel how I felt right now. I felt as though I had been punched in the gut. Vincent quickly grabs a nearby cup, launching it in Daryl's direction across the room, spilling its contents down the pair as the girl screams and Daryl turns to find the culprit in a rage only to find us by the door instead. His eyes meet mine, as his features soften, and all I can think to do in that moment is to turn and run. I needed away from them, away from him, away from this party, and what else was I better at than running away when times get tough? I ran straight out of there, towards the front door, out into the ongoing storm and down the street, blaming the alcohol for my severe emotions but not caring. I felt suffocated and somewhat betrayed. Daryl was supposed to be the good guy. He invited us to the party and had chose to spend his time with us for most of the night. If he wanted to hook up with people, he didn't have to pretend to be the nice guy with me all week, buying me coffee and touching my ass. He was only sending mixed signals. I reached the closed black gates, panicking slightly as I felt suddenly trapped, before I recognize a small button by the footpath to allow walkers to exit. Thankful that it works, I take off in a quick walk, unsure of where I was or how I would even get home from here. But I continued on, allowing the cold rain to completely ruin my hair and makeup, but I didn't care. I was drunk, emotional, and overwhelmed. Not just from the party, but with my life as a whole. It sucked. Whenever I felt somewhat okay, something would bring me crashing right back to reality again. I slowed down in my walk, as my thoughts began to catch up with me, before I suddenly throw my head back and groan loudly. My fucking house key is back in my backpack in Daryl's damn car. I was stranded. I was lost, and even if I did manage to find my way, I had literally nowhere else to go. Feeling defeated, I slumped down onto the edge of the pavement, allowing myself to sob into my hands. Why did I run out? That was so dramatic and uncalled for. All because Vincent yelled at us, and then I found Daryl wrapped up with some other girl. I guess Daryl was my comfort zone, especially when Vincent was being cruel, and this time, he was preoccupied. I was a fool to think that he ever had feelings for me in the first place. He was only being nice to me this week, and yet I was pretty much falling head over heels for the guy without even realizing it. I was an idiot. Lost in my drunken thoughts, I barely noticed a car pulling up, as I glance up when hearing the door slam shut. Feeling numb, I just sat air in the dark, deciding that if it was some psychotic killer dragging me into their car that I wouldn't be putting up much of a fight, not tonight. I was drained. Sophia, come on, get up, it's okay, come here. I glance up to the hooded figure in surprise, shocked to find Vincent to be the one standing there. I'm fine. I all but sniffle, before he reaches down and practically drags me to stand upright with him. Realizing I couldn't possibly fight him off, I all but break down further, as he instantly moves to crush me into his chest in a tight and protective embrace. This was Vincent Walker, the bad boy of Durango. Yet here he was, hunting me down during the storm to comfort me. Nothing makes sense. Let's get you into the car, you'll get the fucking flu sitting out here. Vincent pulls back, taking my arm and leading me back to the waiting vehicle. I don't fight him, I just allow for my fate to play out, as he starts up his car again and puts the heating to full. It is only then when I realize just how soaked and cold I was, beginning to shiver in my seat as I wipe at my tear-stained face. Vincent waits a moment, not driving yet, as he turns to look at me, his features hard and as concentrated as what they usually are. Emma is worried sick about you, you shouldn't have fucking left. Vincent begins to lecture, as I close my eyes over and feel my lip tremble. Why do you even care? I breathe out, as a long silence follows, causing me to look back over to him. He only stares, seeming to think on my statement as I feel my head spin slightly, causing me to groan and to clutch it. Do you want me to take you home? He questions, as I shake my head instantly and choke on another sob. I can't go back there. I can't leave Emma. I'm a terrible friend and I've only known her for 2 days. I cry, as Vincent's hand surprisingly reaches out to grab my thigh. The warmth of the car starts to heat up my cold skin, as I sneeze full and look back at him, finding a genuine look flashing across his face. You can both crash at my place, there's plenty of spare rooms. Everybody is leaving too, the party is done so it will be quiet when we go back. Vincent speaks in a softer tone, as I nod along with his words. I glance at the time on his car screen, seeing that it was after midnight, which caused my brows to furrow. Where did the time go? Are you sure? I bubble out, looking and feeling ridiculous after the events of the night. I'd have you sleep in my own bed over having you out here in a fucking storm, Sophia. I'm not a full-time dick, you know? Vincent smirks, as I somewhat giggle at his attempt to cheer me up. Plus Daryl was a fucking ass to you. He adds, reminding me of why I had even ran out in the first place. I shouldn't have left because of that, it was so dramatic. He can do whatever he wants, I'm so embarrassed. I groan, dragging my hands down my face as Vincent all but laughs at my drunken rambles. Nah, he shouldn't invite you over and then ditch you. But you know, maybe I could help make you feel better. Vincent shrugs, as I squint and stare at him oddly. Just how does he plan on doing that? I wonder, but before I can even speak, his large hand finds my cheek and he leans forward, placing a soft and gentle kiss on my lips, causing my eyes to fall over. I allow it to happen, as my brain races to catch up with the moment to process what was actually happening. Vincent Walker just kissed me. Pulling back, he throws me a wink in true Vincent style, before putting the car into drive to take me back to his place. What just happened? We kissed. Sophia's POV, my cheeks remained flushed after the kiss as we drove back through the familiar gates towards Vincent's house. Okay, listen to me. Do you want to talk to Daryl when we go in? Vincent questions, parking up the car as I instantly shake my head in defiance. Of course I don't. Why would I to speak to him right now? Not in this frame of mind anyway. I had already embarrassed myself enough. Well then just pretend to be asleep and I'll carry you in, I'll take you to the spare room and Emma can come too. Vincent offers, as I inhale a slow breath and nod in agreement with the plan. Vincent? I find his name rolling off of my tongue as he eyes me, waiting for me to continue. What? He presses, clicking off his belt and cutting the engine. Thank you, for saving me tonight. I swallow the lump in my throat, as he nods and offers me a half smile at my words. I told you, I don't let bad shit happen to my staff, which by the way, you better not be too hungover for your shift tomorrow. I'm paying you well for 2 days so I expect perfection. He winks, as I chuckle and nod at the statement. He really didn't seem that bad when he was like this. I watch him climb out of the car on his side, before walking around to my side, opening the door. Sleep, darling. He smirks, as I nod and close over my eyes with a giggle, feeling his arms hook under my legs and around my back to carry me. He seems to lift me up with ease as I hope that he doesn't find me to be heavy. I nestle my head into the crook of his neck, more so to hide my face from the others staring, but I was also guiltily enjoying the scent of Vincent's aftershave coming from his tattooed neck. He smelled expensive and spicy, a true masculine scent if I had ever smelled one before. Oh my God, is she okay? I hear Emma's panic first, as my heart cracks a little after having left her behind during my meltdown. She's fine, she just started dozing off in the car. I said you two could spend the night here, so I'll show you to the spare room, follow me. I hear Vincent talking with her, as I grow curious as to whether or not Daryl was there too. Maybe he was off in his room having fun with the redhead without a car in the world. Why would he care? He owes me nothing. Was she upset? My thoughts are suddenly answered when I hear his voice next, causing me to tense, as Vincent's grip on me tightens ever so slightly. Obviously she was. You fucking ditched her tonight, Daryl. Just let her sleep it off, the alcohol clearly isn't helping either. You can talk to her tomorrow. Vincent is heard scolding him in an unforgiving tone, before we begin to walk up the steps towards whatever room Vincent was taking us to, as Daryl seemed to remain quiet. I allow myself to be carried, actually growing somewhat tired in his arms with the gentle rocking of each stride as we walked. A door is heard opening, before a light is switched on. He's gone, you can open your eyes now. Vincent whispers in my ear as I peek up at him and smile. He stares down at me in his arms, seeming amused, before eventually releasing me down onto my feet, where I turned to find Emma stood by the door with wide eyes. Sophia. I'm so glad he found you. I felt so bad not knowing where you went. Emma rushes to hug me instantly as I hug her back. I'm so sorry for running off like that. I shouldn't have left you alone. I just wasn't thinking straight, I needed space and to get some air. I don't know what happened, I'm blaming the alcohol. I rant, apologizing for my dramatic behavior as she somewhat smiles and laughs. It's okay, don't apologize. Emma concludes with a final nod, as I turn to Vincent, who clears his throat. He moves around the room as I take in the large space for the first time. It was a cozy room painted pale blue with white furnishings, showcasing a large king-size bed in the center, made up and untouched. This is the bathroom, use whatever you need, it's stocked up. There's also some spare clothes that I keep in here if you both want to borrow something to sleep in. Anything else you need, my room is across the hall, just ask. Vincent motions to each door and closet as he speaks as we both nod along with his instructions. He was being overly generous with us, especially with me who until now, I thought he hated. Thank you again. I whisper my gratitude, as he sighs and heads for the door. Sleep it off, you'll feel better tomorrow. He calls over his shoulder, before opening the door to leave, swinging it shut behind himself. Turning to Emma, she mouths the words "what the hell" to me, in fear of Vincent overhearing her reaction as she points in the direction of where he had just left. What? I giggle, as she shakes her head and playfully grins. You have him wrapped around your finger. I can see it now. Vincent Walker likes you, it's crazy. Emma whispers now, as I gasp and step back in horror at her statement. I certainly do not have him wrapped around my finger. You are crazy. He just feels sorry for me, probably just because I'm drunk and upset in his house. I defend, knowing that it can't possibly be true. Come on, Sophia. You should have seen his reaction when you ran out. He almost started fighting with Daryl until a couple of their friends pulled them apart. He went after you and then came back carrying you inside. Vincent doesn't treat any other females like that, not from what I've ever saw, he's usually just mean to them. Emma moves forward to take my hands, believing in her own rambles as I grow shocked at hearing how Vincent had reacted after I left. She doesn't even know the half of it yet either. That's not all. I admit, my cheeks suddenly growing flushed at what I was about to say out loud. Eyeing me curiously, Emma remains quiet and waits for me to speak as I inhale a slow and steady breath. He kissed me, in the car, just a peck though, but it was still a kiss. I rush out, chewing my lip in anticipation for her reaction, feeling as though it was all just a dream as my head spins at the memory. Emma seems to glitch, not speaking at first as she all but opens and closes her mouth to process what I had just said. It was true. He IC'd me, and I couldn't quite wrap my head around why. I thought all of his flirty comments were only jokes, to make me more embarrassed and uncomfortable around him. But again, maybe he just felt sorry for me tonight? Sophia, do you hear what you just said? Vincent kissed you? He likes you, clearly. Emma eventually speaks in an obvious tone as though I were blind to not have seen it sooner. I mean, I've only been here a week and I've cried over one guy and been kissed by his best friend all in the one night. Who was I becoming? Since leaving home I had stayed hidden and out of trouble, but this time around I was forgetting about my past, becoming wholly wrapped up with my teenage dramas at school. Although it all seemed normal, I couldn't be too careless, knowing that if I put myself out there too much, there will be more of a chance that I'll be found again. Which would mean I would have to leave. And I like it here, this place just felt different compared to the rest, more intoxicating. Sophia's POV groaning loudly, I stretch out in the odd comforts of the bed I was currently in, the foreign feelings rushing to me in an instant panic. Why was I comfortable? In a spacious bed at that? Shooting upright, I stare around the room in horror, as my eyes land on Emma, who exits the bathroom, bringing me crashing back to reality. The party, Daryl, Vincent, the kiss. Crap. Morning sleeping beauty. I was starting to think that you wouldn't get up. Emma jokes, drying her wet hair with a towel as she stepped out of the bathroom. What time is it? I ask groggily, my voice scratchy and dry as I reach up to rub at my tired eyes. Almost 12. Emma giggles, as my eyes suddenly widen and I move a lock of blonde hair back from my face. I never sleep this late. It must be the bed, it's been a long time since I actually felt comfortable whilst sleeping. Vincent came by with some clothes for us to change into after a shower, said it was LD stuff that his cousin left here a while back and said we could just keep it. Emma points to the neatly folded pile of clothes left for me as I glance back at her own outfit. Jeans and a white crop top. Was he in here? My eyes suddenly widen, as Emma giggles and nods at my reaction. Yeah, about an hour ago. He thought we were awake, but he was laughing when he seen that you were still in bed. You know, he doesn't actually seem that scary now after last night. It's bizarre. Emma shakes her head, moving across the room to open the curtains, allowing bright sunlight to fill the space as I wince and squint. At least the storm's calmed down today. I think it's still pretty windy out though. Emma hums, staring outside for a moment as I take a second to allow my eyes to adjust. You need to check out this back garden, Sophia. It's humongous. Even has a pool and a jacuzzi. When it gets warmer in the summer, maybe we will get invited back for the garden party. Emma jokes as she tells me what she can see as I smile and laugh at her. I shake my head at the thought, as sheer embarrassment and regret floods through me after last night. I felt terrible for how I had reacted to Daryl kissing another girl. He wasn't my boyfriend and clearly never ever wanted to be, so who was I to cause a scene? Don't get too excited, we are probably blacklisted from any upcoming parties now thanks to me. I groan, flopping backwards onto the bed and pulling a pillow over my face in horror as I hear Emma laugh. Last night was enough to last a lifetime. Now go and shower and we can get out of here before you have to face Daryl. Emma approaches the bed and removes the pillow shield from my face. I eventually stand up, swaying slightly before regaining my balance. This must be what a hangover feels like. I grab the small bundle of clothes Vincent had dropped off, stepping inside of the luxurious bathroom, finding the large rainfall walk-in shower. I used to have a hour like this back home. It was my favorite place to go whenever I felt sad, allowing the water to massage my skin as I sat beneath it. Shaking away my thoughts, I find a packaged toothbrush and eagerly open it to scrub my teeth, glancing at my reflection in the mirror. Whoa, I look dreadful. My mascara and liner was smeared all around my eyes and down my flushed cheeks, and my hair sat in blonde knots around my head, resembling how I had looked when Erica had attacked me in gym class the other day. Finishing my teeth, I run the water and strip out of the large tee that I had borrowed from the drawer last night to sleep in, placing it in the laundry basket where I noticed Emma had also put hers. Finding an array of products already inside the shower, I step in under the water and almost moan at the perfect temperature as it begins to wash away my makeup and smooth out my hair. Grabbing conditioner first, I decide to layer a coat over my whole head to allow for it to sink in for a moment. While I wait, I grab some body wash and scrub every inch of my body in the rich sandalwood scent. I notice a small face wash, grabbing a small drop in my hands before spreading it over my whole face to help rid myself of the makeup stains from the previous night, watching the water turn black beneath my feet as I rinse it all away. I rinse out the conditioner next, before scrubbing my hair twice with the shampoo before going back with a small drop of conditioner to soften out the ends again, feeling finally satisfied that I was as clean as a whistle. I cut the water with a sigh, knowing that it would be a very long time before I get another shower this good again. I wrap one of the fluffy large towels around myself for heat, before drying my skin and placing a smaller towel on my head for my hair. I change into the outfit, embarrassed that Vincent had even thought to bring me a thong with the tag still on it, as I chewed my lip and pulled the black materia up my legs. The outfit was a pair of jeans, slightly darker than the ones Emma was given, and a khaki green, plain crop vest. This was pretty cute and it felt nice to change into something fresh after the shower as opposed to having to put last night's clothes back on. I exited the bathroom, almost falling over when I find Vincent seated on the bed and Emma to be nowhere in sight. Oh, hey? I bubble out and try to act casual, like an idiot who just didn't nearly land face first on the floor in front of him. Where's Emma? I add on, as he watches me, his hair damp to indicate that he had not long stepped out of a shower himself. He wore a navy blue tee today with some jeans, a contrast to his usual darker colors that he tended to wear to school. He suits color. She went to make coffee and grab you both breakfast from downstairs. I told her to wait there for us. Reed is with her, so she's in good hands, so don't stress. He concludes in a bored tone as I nod slowly and begin to unravel the towel from on top of my head. What did he want? She's with Reed? I recite, not knowing who that was exactly, as he chuckles and diverts his gaze to the floor. Yeah. The one who tripped you up that day when you brought me lunch, he continues, as my face falls and my heart quickens. Poor Emma. That damn friend of his was an asshole. I'll go get her. I confirm, swiftly turning to put the towel in the laundry basket inside of the bathroom, but when I turn back I am greeted with Vincent standing on his feet now. He won't do anything bad to her, he has a thing for nerds. Vincent shrugs, as my jaw slackens at his statement. Don't call my friend a nerd. I defend her, not liking his opinion as he rolls his eyes at me. Did he seriously just do that? It's not a bad thing. Stop being so on edge. We aren't bad people, you know, Vincent grumbles, as I sigh and think back to what he had done for me last night. He had proved that he wasn't all Bad, I'll give him that, but he also hadn't been the best welcome committee during my first week at school either. What can I help you with? I push on, wanting to make sure Emma was okay sooner rather than later. We need to talk about the party, don't you agree, darling? He drawls out, taking a slow waltz towards me as I tense. Darling, the same pet name he had used last night, which brought back floods of memories of how he carried me inside like Prince Charming. Huh? Vincent Walker a Prince Charming? Please. But what could he possibly want from me now? Sophia's POV during our brief standoff, I could practically hear my heart beating from inside of my ears. Daryl went out by the way, so you don't need to worry about seeing him today. Vincent suddenly states, as I swallow the lump which was forming in my throat, nervous and on edge. I suddenly look around the room, tucking a wet strand of hair behind my ear to act casual. Is there a hairbrush I could borrow? I find my request leaving my lips, as my tone quivers slightly, betraying my confident act. Vincent stays silent, making a move towards a drawer before pulling one out and holding it out for me. I take slow steps towards him, watching his smirk grow as I reach out to take the brush from his outstretched hand, shrieking loudly when he uses the opportunity to reach out and grab my wrist, pulling me closer to him and crashing me into his solid chest. Do you like being this close to me, Sophia? He hums, as I open and close my mouth in sheer shock of what he was doing. He's teasing me, playing with my emotions, taunting me for how I had acted last night. I'm sorry. I was an idiot last night. I find myself mumbling, as his intense stare gazes down at me, causing for me to divert my eyes elsewhere. He knew just how to make me squirm in fear. Why are you so nervous around me? And why do I sort of enjoy it? He suddenly chuckles, moving an arm around my back to lock me in place. Why was I nervous? Maybe because he was the most intimidating guy my age that I had ever met. He was always so arrogant and sure of himself when I was the total opposite. Please. I find myself saying, unsure of what exactly I was asking for with the word as his muscular arms held me still. Please what, darling? Please will I kiss you again? He proceeds in a purr-like tone, leaning his face down towards me as I lick my drying lips and break out into a sudden cold sweat. What is he doing? I felt like nothing more than a toy to him at this point, something to amuse him whenever he gets bored. As I wait for him to laugh and pull back, leaving me on edge and vulnerable, he shocks me completely by actually following through with the kiss, choosing to kiss me for the second time in 24 hours as my heart stops. My mind swirls, but I instinctively close my eyes and allow for it to happen, embarrassing myself with how desperate I must seem to him. This time, rather than it being a simple peck, Vincent bites my lip, to which I gasp slightly, giving him the perfect opportunity to shove his tongue into my mouth. Having never kissed anybody like this before, I try my best, moving my tongue against his slowly before his hands start to loosen up and wander down my back. They find my ass, as he gives it a light squeeze, pushing my body closer into him if at all possible. Feeling hot and flustered, I place my hands on his chest and push him back slightly, breaking away from the moment to regain my composure. What the hell did he just do to me? Looking accomplished, Vincent lets me go fully, offering me the hairbrush as I attempt to find words but none seem to come out. Was that your first proper kiss? Vincent cocks his head to the side, as my cheeks grow red in shame. What 17, going on 18-year-old has never been kissed? Not many. Yet here I was. Was it that bad? I swallow, beginning to slowly pull the brush through my drying hair as a distraction. I was shaking like a leaf at this point, since he had completely caught me off guard for the second time. It didn't feel real. He was the guy that pushed me around and taunted me at school, not the one wanting to kiss me. Or so it had seemed. Nah, you were pretty good. I can just tell from your reaction that you've not been kissed like that. You were tensed up. A little virgin. He chuckles, as my lip wobbles slightly and I force out a lazy smile, trying not to let his words affect me. I was mortified to say the least. All I could think was, wait until I tell Emma he damn well kissed me again, while I was sober too. Look, this isn't a big deal. A kiss means shit, really, just some fun. I don't want you pulling a Daryl on me and getting upset when you see me with other people, alright? The last thing I need is another needy girl on my hands. Vincent's usual comments return as he laughs, crushing what small ounce of hope I had of actually starting to like him. It didn't even mean anything to him, of course it didn't. He only kissed me for amusement, nothing else. Okay, sure. I nod, finishing on my hair with the brush as best I could. It wasn't fully dry, but it would do until it was. Let's go see how your friend is coping with Reed. He motions towards the door as I place the hairbrush down on a dresser and eagerly follow him out. I was beginning to feel suffocated in that space with him alone for so long. After today, he probably won't even look or think twice about me. It was all just a big game to Vincent. Heading downstairs, I was shocked to see that the home was not only empty, but spotless. How had they managed to clean up this good in such short time? Taking my time to truly admire the impressive home, I follow Vincent through to the kitchen, the same space where everything had gone to shit last night at the party. I glanced to the corner where Daryl had once stood wrap pet up with the red head as I shake the memory from existence. It meant nothing, we were nothing. I had been here a week, although it already felt like a damn year by now. Rounding a corner through into the dining room, I find Emma as she seems to giggle at something Reed was saying to her, taking a moment to notice that we had even came in. Oh, Sophia, hey. Emma straightens up, as Reed nods towards me in acknowledgement as my smile remains tight. Does he seriously think that I've forgotten that he tripped me up at the start of the week? To make matters worse, it actually hurt too. Reed, do you remember Sophia? Vincent states, as I wish he hadn't. Reed folds his arms across his chest and nods with a smile, as I fight back every urge to roll my eyes at him. To think he had Emma fooled, as she giggled and chatted with him as though he was a saint. Yeah, it's great to formally meet you. No hard feelings now, right? Reed tests, as I push a smile and choose not to actually speak to him. I just wanted to leave this place, but then I instantly realized that I couldn't, even if I wanted to. Crap. I suddenly mutter aloud, with my whole face screwing up in agitation. What's gotten you so feisty? Vincent raises a brow, as I sigh heavily. My house keys are in Daryl's car. I complain, as the pair of boys snort out a laugh without a care in the world for my situation. It wasn't even funny. This sucks. I have my second shift tonight at Vincent's damn bar and I had planned to go home before it. How I'll even get there without Daryl taking me home I don't know. Chill, you can hang out here until he gets back. Vincent shrugs, as Emma eyes me and nods as though it were a great idea. I have work later, I remind Vincent in a tone that silently said you should know that as he again just shrugs. So? I'll drop you over there before your shift if Daryl isn't back yet and I'll get your keys for when you finish? Vincent states as though it as common sense. Oh boy. I didn't really want to spend the entire day here, nor did I want to wait for Daryl coming back either. It was awkward enough already, thanks to me, and more so now after kissing Vincent not once, but twice. How could things get any worse from here?